This video is on vocabulary and relationships in geometry. In any geometry class, you will have a lot of vocabulary throughout the year. So I suggest you keep in one place, either in your notebook or your binder, a running list of all the different vocabulary words that you encounter in geometry. Okay, so first vocabulary word we're going to be talking about is linear pair of angles. So here I've drawn line segment AB, and intersecting line segment AB is line segment CD. So while I drew these as line segments, this is going to also be true. What we're about to talk about will also be true if AB is a line and CD is a line instead of a line segment. Okay, so AB intersects line segment CD at point A. And if you have a situation like this, then this angle right here, angle ACD, plus angle DCB is going to equal 180 degrees. The reason for this is basically because from here to here is 180 degrees. If you're having a hard time believing that, then just recall that for a full circle, that's 360 degrees. So we know from here to here, which is a half a circle, that's 180 degrees, which means the other side over here also has to be 180 degrees. Okay. So here the vocabulary word, once again, is linear pair of angles. And the definition for a linear pair of angles is two angles that are next to each other and form a line. So those two angles we were just looking at form a line. And because they form a line, the linear pair of angles will add up to 180 degrees. Okay, moving on. And I would suggest you pause the video at times like this in order to write down these vocabulary words and these relationships. And then hit play whenever you're ready to continue going. Next vocabulary word we're going to be talking about is pair of vertical angles or vertical angles. So here I have drawn line segment AB and line segment CD intersecting at point E. And once again, even though I drew line segments, this would also work with lines. So, and this is called the vertical angle theorem. So if you have these two line segments intersecting at point E, then you would have those two angles right there. They're going to be equal to each other. And these two angles over here are going to be equal to each other. So basically the angles that are opposite of each other or opposite on the opposite side of the intersection point. So, and for this particular drawing, that means angle ACE is equal to angle DEB, and angle AD is equal to angle BEC. All right, and so let's go over, let's put the definition of vertical angles here. So angles that are across from each other in this sort of situation. Angles are across from each other when two lines or line segments intersect, um, are vertical angles. So angle AEC and angle DEB are a pair of vertical angles. And then angle AED and angle BEC are also a pair of vertical angles. And those vertical angles are equal to each other. All right, moving on, we're going to be talking about parallel lines and transversals. Let's first go over parallel lines. So the word parallel means that means never touches or staying the same distance apart. So if you have parallel lines, then you have two lines or more that uh, lines go on forever, and so these parallel lines will go on forever, but they will never touch, and their distance apart, their distance from each other, will always stay the same. These little symbols right here is a way of indicating that these two lines are parallel. All right, so that's what parallel and parallel lines are. Let's talk about the word transversal. So a transversal is a line that intersects a system or group of lines. Intersect means cross. So a transversal is a line that crosses a group of lines. So let's have, so this here is a picture of parallel lines with a transversal. The blue lines are parallel to each other, and the red line crosses that group. So that red line is a transversal. All right. Uh, Here I've labeled the angles in our parallel lines with a transversal. I've labeled the angles that are equal to each other. So here in this picture, all the ones labeled A are equal to each other. And all the ones labeled B are also equal to each other. Okay. Instead of just calling them A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, let's put numbers to them. So I've just switched the numbering to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, going from left to right, top to bottom. And once again, all the ones in the thicker red, they're all equal to each other. So angle 1, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 8 are equal. And the ones with these smaller lines are also equal to each other. So angle 2 is equal to angle 3, which is equal to angle 6, which is equal to angle 7. All right. So let's continue with the talking about pairs of vertical angles, but in this sort of situation here. So if I have that picture, quick reminder, vertical angles is, or a pair of vertical angles is where two lines meet. The angles that are opposite of that intersection point are vertical angles. So, for example, if I were looking at the top blue line and the red line, it intersects right here. So because it intersects right there, the ones that are opposite of each other, so in this case, number 1 is opposite of 4. Those are vertical angles, or angle 1 and angle 4 is a pair of vertical angles. which also means that your number 2, angle 2, and angle 3 is another pair of vertical angles. Looking at the bottom, uh, looking at the bottom part, the bottom blue line and the transversal intersect right there. Angle 5 and angle 8 are a pair of vertical angles, and then angle 6 and angle 7 are also a pair of vertical angles. Each pair of vertical angles is equal to each other. So that means like angle 1 is equal to angle 4, angle 2 is equal to angle 3, angle 5 and angle 8 are equal, angle 6 and angle 7 are equal. All right, moving on, let's talk about corresponding angles. And this is in the context of parallel lines with a transversal. The rest of this video is going to be talking about in the context of parallel lines with a transversal. Here's a bunch of vocabulary words that are associated with that. So we're going to be talking about corresponding angles. It's a vocabulary word, so I put it in bold. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same location relative to their intersection point. So what does that mean? Okay. So in this picture, the two intersection points are here and here. Angle number 1 and angle number 5 are both in the top left corner of like their intersection point. So compared to the top intersection point, angle 1 is in the top left. Compared to the bottom intersection point, angle 5 is in the top left. So therefore, angle number 1 and angle number 5 are corresponding angles. So so there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles here. Like I just said, angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Angle number 2 and angle number 6 are corresponding because they're both in the top right of their, compared to their intersection point. And then angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. And finally, angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. Each of those pairs are equal. So angle 1 is equal to angle 5, angle 2 is equal to angle 6, angle 3 and 7 are equal, angle 4 and angle 8 are equal to each other. All right, moving on, we're going to be talking about alternate interior angles. So in a set of parallel lines with a transversal, there are these things called alternate interior angles. Alternate is an adjective. That's what this ADJ means. Alternate is an adjective that means sort of every other. Interior means inside, also an adjective. So if you were to have alternate interior angles, that is angles that are on the inside of the parallel lines and are on opposite sides of the transversal. This interior here matches this word inside, this word alternate matches this word opposite. So let's look at our diagram. So if we are looking on the inside of the parallel lines, so if we're looking on the inside of the parallel lines, that would include those right there. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Angle 3, 4, 5, and 6 are on the inside of the parallel lines. So of those 4 angles, we're looking for the ones that are opposite sides of the transversal. So that right there would be 3 is on the opposite side of 6, and 4 is on the opposite side compared to 5. So therefore, angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. It is a pair of alternate interior angles. And angle 4 and angle 5 is also a pair of alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are equal to each other. So 3 and 6 are equal to each other. Angle 4 is equal to angle 5. All right, moving on. We're going to do a vocabulary word that is very close to this. This was alternate interior angles. We're going to now look at alternate exterior angles. So the word exterior means outside. And so alternate exterior angles are outside of the parallel lines. So that means up here and down here. Those are outside of the parallel lines. And since we are still using this word alternate, that means that we're looking at the angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal. So in this particular case, angle number 1 is on the opposite side of the transversal compared to angle number 8. And angle 2 is on opposite sides of angle 7. Opposite side of the transversal. So that means that your angle number 1 and angle number 8 is a pair of alternate exterior angles, and those are equal to each other. And angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles, and they're equal to each other. So angle 2 equals angle number 7. All right. Now let's look at a different vocabulary word. Here we're going to be looking at consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles are on the inside, because we have the word interior. They're on the inside of the parallel lines, and they're going to be on the same side of the transversal. So if you are looking on the inside angles, the ones that are on the same side of the transversal are consecutive interior angles. So 3 is on the same side of the transversal as 5, so they are consecutive interior angles. Angle 4 and angle 6 is a pair of consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles, if you add them together, will add up to 180 degrees. So angle 3 and angle 5 are consecutive interior angles. So if I were to add up angle 3 and angle 5, they would equal 180 degrees. Likewise, angle number 4 and angle number 6 are consecutive interior angles. So if I add up angle 4 plus angle 6, it would equal 180 degrees. This is talking about consecutive interior angles. A vocabulary word or phrase that is close to that is consecutive exterior angles. So exterior, once again, we're talking about the angles that are outside of the parallel line. So that is up here and down here. And the word consecutive references the fact that we are talking about angles that are on the same side of the transversal. So looking at those four angles, angle number 1 and angle number 7 on the same side of the transversal, and angle 2 and angle 8 are on the same side of the transversal. So those pairs are pairs of consecutive exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 7 is a pair of exterior angles. Angle 2 and angle 8 is a pair of consecutive exterior angles. Consecutive exterior angles add up to 180. So angle 1 plus angle 7 will add up to 180. Angle 2 and angle 8 add up to 180.